Hi everyone, I'm Utkarsh and this is the Fender custom shop Rosewood Telecaster. So let's start off by looking at what you get. Nice black G&G case. Feels a bit like a PRS case, but you know, it's the classic. And there we go, the moment of truth. Yes. If there is a more beautiful Telecaster, well, in my eyes there is none. This is it. Beautiful from the front and actually, if possible, even more beautiful from the back. Just look at that vertical, well-defined grain. Wow. Opening it up, you've got the certificate, or rather the hang tag. You've got the ashtray bridge inside, bunch of other stuff, toolkit. Yes, I have the toolkit kept separately. Owner's manual, another owner's manual. I actually got this from Nico Guitars in Japan, which I will tell you more about later. And inside this is a photo of the guitar. Pretty beautiful. And the original hang tag in Japanese yen. Yes, this is an expensive guitar. Ah, yes, it's okay. Hopefully it doesn't go down in price. And I also got, just outside over here, I also got a Fender custom shop strap. Won't really use it, but it's good to have. This is one beautiful guitar, people. Well, there's a bit of a story behind this guitar. I'm not really a Telecaster guy. I'm a Gibson and a PRS guy, but I'm a huge Beatles guy. And if there ever was a Telecaster that I would own, it would be this one, Rosewood Telecaster, because of, yes, George Harrison. In the late 60s, George Harrison from the Beatles especially got one made from solid rosewood. It was super heavy, but it was super unique. And it featured both in the Let It Be film as well as the rooftop concert. I actually spotted this guitar first in the Let It Be film when I was in university, you know, and we downloaded all those old videos. And yeah, so I always thought this guitar looked pretty cool. Then fast forward so many years, I've always contemplated about getting this guitar, but two things have always been in the way. One, I never actually saw one in the flesh, and secondly, it's super expensive. And I was like, I'm not a Telecaster guy. Yes, I like this guitar, but why will I get a guitar just, I mean, when I can get a guitar that I would rather play for the money. Well, a few things have happened since. Luckily, I've had the chance to get pretty much whatever guitars I need from a playing perspective. And last month in Japan, when I was just browsing through a bunch of guitar shops, went to this interesting, not boutique, but an interesting little guitar shop called Nico Guitars near Shibuya, not very far from the Shibuya crossing. I was looking for actually a modern eagle, and they did have one, but I had to wait a while before they could give it out to me to try it out. And so I was wandering around in the store, and I spotted this. First time in my life I saw a Rosewood Telecaster, and the moment I saw it, I was like, I think something's gonna happen today, and it did. This guitar just played amazing. It sounded amazing, which is saying something because I don't like bright guitars. But the thing with this guitar was it was extremely articulate, extremely dynamic. I don't know whether it's a rosewood, I don't know what it is, but this guitar itself is amazing. Maybe my mind was already made up subconsciously, so everything kind of made sense. Paid more than I would have liked, but I think the price was fair for it. was very fair for the guitar. But yeah, and this is mine now. This beautiful rosewood front, back, and yeah, a keeper, because this is the Telecaster for my collection. I don't fancy any other Telecasters actually, but this is the one that I will keep until I hope I don't need to sell it. All right, let's get into the specs. Rosewood, full rosewood, all rosewood. So what does that mean? It means rosewood body. So rosewood body, you can see it's a three-piece. It's two pieces of rosewood with a maple sandwich. So sorry, I'll show it to you again. Maple sandwich in the middle. It's chambered because otherwise rosewood is a super heavy wood. So this whole guitar is probably about, well, for my money, about 10 pounds or 4 kilos, I would say, which is okay. This is about as much as a light Les Paul custom or a decent Les Paul standard. So rosewood all across, rosewood neck, which is lovely. Guys, there is nothing better than a rosewood neck, other than a Brazilian rosewood neck. But even Indian rosewood like this guitar, it's just amazing. Laminated rosewood fretboard, which means that it is a good, interesting mix between the feel of a laminated maple Fender fretboard and a typical rosewood fretboard. So it's a bit smoother than usual rosewood, which I really like. And rosewood headstock and rest of the body, it's all rosewood, as you can see. This back, of course, is just out of this world gorgeous. In terms of other specs, so it's got Fender tuners, typical string tree, standard Telecaster. The pickups are what they call twisted tellies, which mean they are like vintage pickups, but bit of extra bite, especially on the bridge pickup. It's just amazing for rock. And then you've got the classic bridge, whatever that is called, Telecaster. Experts, please tell me better. But three pieces, three saddles, and string through. And of course, heel joint, because, you know, this is a bolt-on. Okay, now, what is the difference between this and there are two guitars that you might be wondering about to compare this. What is the difference between this and a custom shop George Harrison reissue, which came out just a couple of years ago, and the Fender USA George Harrison? The custom shop is an exact replica of George Harrison's guitar in most respects. The pickups was specially wound by this famous pickup winder of theirs, this lady, I'm forgetting her name, who came out of retirement. Overall, the guitar size, it's measured, everything is similar to exactly George Harrison's guitar. In contrast, this guitar is pretty much identical, except that it just has the twisted telly pickups, and perhaps the measurements are not microscopically mapping to George Harrison's actual guitar. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's the same guitar. Now, what's the difference between this and a Fender regular George Harrison? That's a bit different. So that guitar has been modernized. It's been made a bit more of a player's guitar. So that guitar is still made out of all rosewood, which is amazing. But the neck profile is a bit more modern. The pickups are a bit more modern. So that is true in intent to the George Harrison guitar in the sense that it's made out of rosewood, but it's not exactly, you know, that entire vintage vibe. It's more on bringing it to the modern world. For me, This guitar, as expensive as it is, at probably 1/3 the price of the George Harrison replica, is probably a bargain. Though no custom shop guitar is a bargain. You can get a great playing guitar for 1/10 of the price. So let's just be clear on that. But for what it is, I think the price is okay. Now, in terms of sound and playability, here's what I've noticed about this guitar. The neck is just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's technically a 60s rounded C or something to that effect. What it is to me, it's like a good Gibson neck, a good Gibson neck, a good fat Gibson neck. That's what it feels like to me. All my frames of references are Gibson. Not as fat as a 58, which is really an acquired taste. Do I love it? But not as thin as a 60s Gibson, somewhere in between, like a Gibson 50s. Much thicker than any PRS you lay your hands on, even the wide fat PRS. So for me, this is probably my favorite neck on any guitar, not just this guitar, not just Fenders or Gibsons. And which is because it's the perfect Gibson size for me, but it is made out of rosewood. The PRS necks, which I have, my two 513 Rosewoods, which are made out of Brazilian rosewood, amazing necks, just wish they were a bit thicker, and this guitar is a bit thicker. Sound wise, a real surprise. So the neck pickup is all about being articulate, it's all about playing clean or lightly distorted. We're giving you beautiful undertones that you can pick to your satisfaction to be either clean or a bit more distorted. Middle position is there for your for your funky stuff and a good blend. The bridge pickup was the big surprise. Now, single coils and metal and high gain don't go together, but this guitar's single coil is unlike any single coil I've ever played, in that it takes gain very well. It is slightly noisy because it is a single coil, but it has balls, it has meat. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it. And you can genuinely play high gain stuff well on this, and it'll make the notes articulate. I don't know whether it's the body being so heavy, I don't know what it is, but this is like an extremely articulate, extremely clear humbucker. Maybe it won't have that kind of power if you really down tune or you really play a lot of staccato, but for typical kind of high gain I play, which can be everything from classic metal, even some modern metal, this bridge pickup is amazing, honestly. And a big surprise. I'm not a big fan of the clean sound of the bridge pickup. It's a bit too spiky for me. But under gain, it fattens up nicely and it just sounds amazing. What else do you need to know about this guitar? So I think the long scale length lends itself well to riffing, which is good. I wish I could show you country chicken picking and all that, but I couldn't. I can't play that for my life. So you'll have to find that anywhere else. I don't have an AB of this versus another Telecaster because I don't have another Telecaster. But I'll probably do that some other date, and we can see the differences. But overall, beautiful guitar, proper rock machine, even for modern rock. Um, Amazing. It's a dream to play. It's a dream to play dynamically. And overall, just an absolutely amazing guitar. I can't stress that enough. I may sound a bit repetitive, but it just is. So yeah, I hope this review is helpful. If you want to know anything more about this guitar, feel free to ask me. And yeah, till next time.